Hi folks, welcome back to another episode of the Single Dad's Cookbook. Today we're going to be making the Sunday classic roast beef. Nice bit of roasting joint there. It's a rolled roasting joint, that's why it's got the string on it to hold it together. It's a cheaper cut of meat, so it needs a bit of extra attention, but nothing too strenuous. And we've got beautiful ingredients to make our own homemade gravy as well. So first of all, we're just going to finely chop the carrots into little cubes to make sure that they break down in the time that they're roasted for, and we can get them in. So we're just going to finely dice them. Nice and easy, just like that. And once you've done the 2 carrots there, you want to get them into the roasting tray. And then we move on to the onion. Now I've got 2 relatively small onions, or if you've got 1 large onion, use that instead of 2. But this is the gravy that we're going to make to go with the beef, is a nice onion gravy. So we want that to break down. So we just slice them up there. Now while I'm doing that, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for all the lovely comments that I'm getting. I hope you are enjoying the videos as much as I am sharing them with you. I'm getting some comments that you have tried them and shared them with your families, which is absolutely brilliant. And that's the whole point of this. It's just try to eat a little bit better, especially with the way the world is and how expensive everything's getting these days. So we've got the onions in. Now I'm using here what may seem like quite a lot of garlic, but it is going to roast off in the oven, and it's going to come a lot more mellow in there. So all I'm going to do is just take the skins off them, give them a crush, and again pop them in the roasting tray with the rest of the veg there. Now this prep work here is all to do with making sure that you're doing the least amount of work later on to get the perfect Sunday dinner. And with that, obviously the previous videos of the roast potatoes and the Yorkshire puddings will go beautifully with this. So into the roasting tray I've put 2 bay leaves and a good sprinkling of the mixed herbs there. Again, nothing fancy, it's just the cheap mixed herb container. So get them in there, and a liberal sprinkling of black pepper. Then I'm going to take a couple of oxo cubes. These are just, now this is the beef base that I'm going to create along with the juices from the actual rolled joint. So I'm going to put up 2 of them in, 2 oxo cubes and a couple of beef pot stock cubes. Now you can use, if you've already got pre-made beef stock, use that, or pre-make it before you pour it in. Up to you. This way, and the way I do this, I just sort of throw it all in and let the oven do all the work. So you can see I popped one in one corner and I've popped the one in the opposite corner as well, just so that when they do melt in and we do add in the boiling water, it's an even distribution. But again, that will work throughout. So giving them a bit of a mix, just so you're getting the herbs mixed in there. So we've got them mixed. Then we're going to move on to the actual beef joint itself. Now for this, like I said, I've got a rolled beef joint. Great for roasting, big chunky meat for relatively cheap. This way, if it wasn't a rolled joint, I would sear the outside just to sort of get that locked in flavour. But because I am actually making the gravy and I want all the juices to leak through, I want all that fat to render into the beef and the gravy and make it just absolutely beautiful, all I'm doing is patting it dry and putting a bit of salt and a bit of pepper on the actual skin there, the top end, the bit with the fat on it. So again, nice and simple. With this, what we want to do is we just, instead of rendering it and putting it in and searing it all off, because of that bit of string there that keeps it all together, what we're going to do is we're just going to pop it in the oven at 180 degrees, uncovered, at first, and we're going to pop that in for 40 minutes for this size. Have a look. Obviously the times will depend on how big the beef joint is. If it's a bigger beef joint, it'll take longer. If it's a smaller one, it'll be quicker. If it is quicker, you've just got to make sure your vegetables are chopped up even finer. That's all. So into that, I've laid on that beef joint, and I'm just mixing in some boiling water to get the base of the gravy actually on its way. So initially, pop it in for, I popped this one in for 45 minutes, and you can see there it's starting to brown off beautifully. Still got a bit of jiggle to it, still got quite a way bit to cooking to go, but all I'm doing now, you can see the carrots and stuff have started to break down absolutely beautifully, and I'm just giving it a bit of a baste, and then I'm going to cover the whole thing in tin foil and pop it back in. Now I popped this one back in for another hour and a half, just so that I could get it not quite blushing, but just on the pink side, and just so that it breaks up, it holds its sort of structure a little bit more. If you want to slow cook it and put it in for a few hours, completely up to you. So once it's done there, you can see that we're going to let this rest now. The gravy, don't know what happened to the camera there, it's just sort of slipped out of focus. I need to sack the cameraman, but the gravy started to break down beautifully. Again, one last little baste in there, then I'm going to put this beef to rest. That was me just tasting the gravy, just make sure that the seasoning's right, and it was absolutely perfect. The camera comes back into focus, so we've got there, you see it's absolutely perfect, and we've just now we're going to let this rest. Now a little tip for you when you're resting any meat like that size, it is going to release the juices. That's why you rest your meat. So what I do is I actually put it back on a plate, so that if any juices do come out of it, it actually goes on the plate and I can add them in to the gravy later. So you take all the beautiful liquid, all that absolutely infused flavour, we put it through a sieve, remove the bay leaves, and then what you're going to do is you're actually just going to pass that through the sieve, so that you're getting as much flavour into your gravy as possible. And as soon as you do that, you'll actually see, once you start passing it through, you'll see that all the carrots and the garlic all just start to crumble up. And always remember the back of the sieve. That's where all the beautiful flavours are, and you can see that there. So you've got an absolutely gorgeous sauce gravy there. And if you wanted to, you could thicken that up. You can do it with a bit of corn flour. You can put a bit of Bisto in. You don't really want to change the flavour too much, because you've put a lot of work into getting that, and it's absolutely beautiful. So you've got your gravy, your beef there. So you can see there, once it's rested, it's relaxed and released all those beautiful liquids. That's all flavour. Get that back into your gravy. See that there? Just pure beef juices. Get that in there. Now it's cooled down a little bit. You want to cut across the grain, and you can see there, beautiful, slightly pink, blushing beef. Absolutely perfect. Melt in the mouth. Bits of beef. Pull it apart. Look at that. Even this cut of beef that's got quite a bit of fat running through it, and can be a bit. I hope you try this at home. From my family to yours. I hope you guys are staying safe out there. Till the next video. See you next time.